I hate Unreal's entity components. It took me years of piling failures to realize that they absolutely suck.
Stop using them!
You, dear viewer, might be thinking. So let me tell you a story. You sit down to develop your first Unreal project. You don't know how to code, so you make a blueprint actor, which is a button that opens a bridge when pressed. Obviously, all of the logic is in one actor, so when you want to add a second bridge, you cry yourself to bed. You get up in the morning and split the bridge button actor into two separate bridge and button actors. Obviously, all of the logic is heavily coupled together and bridges can only ever be opened by buttons, you dummy. So when you want to add a lever, it goes nah, and you cry yourself to bed. You get up, make a simple interactable parent for the lever and the button, which loves them both dearly, gives them allowance, prizes them a lot, and allows them both to play with bridges. Obviously, all of the interactability logic is directly in their genes, aka actor class, so when you want to make a lamp, it gets disowned for not wanting to play with a bridge, so you go and cry yourself to bed. Get up, tear off the interactable gene to a separate component, give it to kids together with a volume component to react to player proximity, and now they can check if the player wants to touch them.
What the fuck? You have just unlocked a new skill of using composition. But what is it? Composition is a software development pattern where instead of building hierarchy, you develop the logic in the components that then can be attached to some entity. Now for the real problem. How does the interaction component interact with the volume component?
Let's take a simple example actor. It has a root mesh component and child interaction and volume. One of the ways an interaction component can access the volume component is to ask directly through a getComponent function. This will give us the first component of this type that exists on the actor. The issue with this solution arrives when the actor has more components of the same type. We may want to have other additional volumes to detect other stuff. In this case, getComponent might not give us the detection volume that we care about. Another possible solution could be to build the actor like this. Make some root component, attach the volume component to it, and then the interaction component. This allows us to call getAttachParent, and we can be sure that it's the exact component we care about. What you might realize is that there are cases where hierarchy is already set, and you might have the interaction component already attached. This forbids us from placing the volume where we need it. Plus, you couldn't do that with multiple components if you need more than one. Alternatively, we could create a setup function on the interaction component. It would accept the volume as an argument and use it however it wants. Here's what I don't like. It forces the actor to glue those components together. Now you need to remember to call this function on all actors that will ever use this interaction.
All of those ways kind of work, but none of them are reliable. It really sucks that there is no way to link those components through a property field like in Unity. Or is there?
I'm at it. Yeah.
I got annoyed enough that I spent the bulk of the last 3 months on and off figuring out what can be done about it. With help from a bunch of my friends, I was able to figure out a way to make a Unity-style component picker for Unreal. And oh boy do I love it! Here is how it works.
We make a simple component reference property. In the editor window, select the component we are interested in from the drop-down, ask nicely for whatever is inside. Here it is. No code or cross-referencing required in the actor.
Under the hood, the component picker just holds the name of the component, which gets updated whenever necessary. Additionally, those references are required by default, so if you use them in any blueprint, it will throw compilation errors if they are empty, which means that you will never forget about them. No more relying on unreliable assumptions, no more writing boilerplate code. You just create a component, reference it, and use it. It comes with a few caveats that I would love to change. However, it works good enough for now, and I already deeply incorporated it into one of my projects. There are 2 ways to get this plugin, if you want it.
You can get it for free over at my Patreon, or you can buy it on the Epic Marketplace. This one comes with included tech support if you hit any roadblocks.
I hope this is as useful to you as it is to me. And a hot take for you to think about. If you define your actors in code, your hierarchy sucks. PS, one thing to mention is I'm talking about Unreal's way of handling components and not about the entity component system paradigm here. Although, fuck all of this, because Unity and Unreal have a system for entity components, but it shouldn't be confused with an entity component system because it's not a system but a paradigm, and the system part refers to part of the ECS and not a wrapper describing this concept, and it's all really confusing and I hate it. And basically, if you think that Unity and Unreal use ECS, then the proper paradigm should be called ECSS. Great, I love it. Go on, fuck off to another video.